Hello, and welcome to the View from Swift Business Forum Ireland, filmed on location in Dublin. I'm Joy Macknight, Managing Editor at The Banker, and I'm joined by Andrew Smith, Chief Technology Officer at ClearBank, the first new clearing bank in the UK in more than 2 centuries. Andrew, thanks so much for joining us today. What were the main challenges to becoming a new clearing bank?
Okay, so I would say there's 3 big main challenges. The first one's the most obvious, right? Regulation, that regulatory journey of going through that. For us, it was actually a second challenge around that, which was a bit of a catch-22. So we wanted to join the payment scheme, so fast payments, BACS and CHAPS, but you can't join unless you've already got a banking license, really, or you couldn't back then, right? So our journey started off in 2015, 2016. So we had some really interesting conversations around that. And the third one is actually the amount of capital you need, the actual investment behind that, which I think is not unique to a clearing bank, but they were the 3 big challenges that we really faced.
Okay, and how do you differentiate yourself from the other incumbent banks?
Yes, that's a really easy question, actually. One hard one, one easy one. Essentially, ClearBank doesn't challenge or doesn't compete for your customer space. So an incumbent bank that provides clearing services, they're also going after the same customers in terms of retail or wholesale or actually corporate. ClearBank doesn't do that. We actually we service our customers, which are other institutions or they're fintechs, they're other regulated entities, and we won't go out and compete with you for actual end customers on the high street.
Okay. My next question is around emerging technologies. Which emerging technologies are coming into play that are really sort of shaking up the payment space?
So there's obviously distributed ledgers, blockchains, but what I'm really interested in some of the technologies around APIs, actually. So you start looking at technologies called WebSockets or gRPC, and I think they're really interesting because actually they start looking at the web as a protocol and actually being able to stream information. So usually with a web API, I actually call it, send my data, and then I have to call it again and send my data. With technologies like gRPC, it opens a channel and it's there and I can stream this continuous flow of data. If you think of large scale volume of payments, that's exactly what you want to be able to do, these micro payments that are continuously streaming.
And how much impact do you think open banking is really going to have on the payments landscape?
Actually, not much at all on payments, to be honest with you. I can see open banking being used with, I get a better experience application, and I may say, actually, I want to initiate transactions through that. But the actual payments landscape, at the end of the day, it still goes through to your bank. It'll still actually go through the same payment rails. So I'm not really sure how much open banking will play in that. The customer experiences and the journeys around that, massive, massive, massive areas where you'll see improvements and richer experiences.
Okay, and my last question is really, how do you envision the future payments landscape?
So I actually think we're going to end up with a lot more volume of payments, but smaller payments, really kind of moving down into pennies and maybe micro pennies. Some of the things that we do at ClearBank, for example, we charge in micro pennies, so it could be 5/100th of a penny, and actually through the day you'll actually see those accrue, and we bill you in real time. So at the end of the day, you may have only charged 2 pence, but that's a combination of all these micro pennies or micro transactions. When you start looking at things like Internet of Things and maybe my fridge being a bit smart and ordering my milk for me, there's going to be small micro payments that actually start getting initiated from a variety of devices. And I think that's where we're going to be in the next 3 to 5 years.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your insights, Andrew.
Nice meeting you.